bullshit slandering of anti-war journalists. You mean that?
Yeah, so that was all in a result because you were telling the truth about Syria. You were telling the truth about Russiagate.
And they were lying about it.
And they
were lying about Julian Assange, and they were lying about the Ukraine war and Syria. They're lying about it. There isn't a thing they haven't lied about. I mean, Anna Kasparian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What? Greenwald retweeted it. It's true. Oh, makes my stomach churn. Ugh. All right, Stoy Black. Ugh. Yikes. You know, now I need to go find that tweet. Let's see here. Oh. Yeah, I don't foresee an apology because that would acknowledge how wrong she was and how devious her intention was to ruin somebody, to ruin another broadcaster, because that broadcaster, Jimmy Dore, was making sure to tell the truth about serious issues around the world. And they were falling for the mainstream media propaganda, as usual. All right. Zarkov, I'm out of my mind. You know, I don't have a lot of yeah, I know she's anti-Zionist, and that's the first time they've gotten something right in the last decade. You know, good on her for being on the right side of this horrific issue. Oh my goodness, can't tell you. Neo mortal girl, make her grovel, Jimmy. You know what ended up happening is she accused him of something that didn't actually happen, and she was using it to ruin him. And that's going to take a pretty big apology. That takes a public.
You can.
Okay. Thank you, Airwaves. I will look for it. Much appreciated. CJ Brumble, Jimmy. All right. Oh, no. Colorado Rock or Watch, say it's not true. All right. Finally, there's a war that they can get up against. That's it. All right, let's look over here. What do you got for me? What do you have over here for me, YouTube? All right, let's look for this. Wait, it's hard to find this today. All right, let's go over here. All right. When will JD elope with Erica? That's funny. Stockholm got it. Savage. Let's see what you have, Savage. French Canada is the real Canada. It's the best. Savage. Maybe don't eat meat. We eat tortured corpses. Why eat tortured corpses? I know, Noah, right? Oof. KX Malahov. Thank you, KX Malahov. U.S. approved clone meat in 2008 without labels too. What? Oh, I did not know that. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. Don't forget to watch Just for Laughs classic Canadian comedy. That's Mark. Thank you, Mark, for that. Much appreciated. Jimmy, gimme, Jimmy, Jimmy, Jimmy. That is from Kelly the singer. Thank you, Kelly the singer. Jolani, welcome to our White House. It's unbelievable. Kurt, you think? All right. I've eaten cloned lamb. It's not bad. All right, that's from John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Thank you for that one. Just got here. What's new about Epstein? More info. That is about nothing. Oh, no. He acknowledges that Epstein is trafficking girls. Those are the things that I think we're gonna cover that today, actually. Ladies and gentlemen, are you looking for a sweet, sweet comedy show to go to? Check out jimmydore.com. Go to our tour site and you'll see our upcoming shows that we're doing. Stand-up, all stand-up shows. When we're doing a panel show, we promise to make a big announcement. But until then, all our shows on the road and in town are stand-up. No, that's funny. Let's see here. Who accused Jimmy of what? That's funny. Jimmy effing Dore, Mouse SF. Thank you, Mouse F.
Is he ready?
Steph, are you part Jew? Steph, are you? Actually, Steph is Mexican.
All right.
Back to Jim Jam.
No. Just like 5 minutes, probably. Okay. Hey, big story. Epstein alleged in emails that Trump knew of his conduct. So the Democrats released, they got a hold of these emails. This is back from like 2008 or something. And well, with their chins held high, the Democrats bravely stepped up and admitted that everything is Donald Trump's fault as far as the Epstein's files are concerned. So good for them. House Democrats on Wednesday released emails in which Jeffrey Epstein wrote that President Trump had spent hours at my house with one of Mr. Epstein's victims, among other messages that suggested that the convicted SCX offender believed Mr. Trump knew more about his abuse than he has acknowledged. Mr. Trump has emphatically denied any involvement in or knowledge of Mr. Epstein's SCX trafficking operation. He has said that he and Mr. Epstein, the disgraced financier who died by suicide, they still say that in the New York Times. So that's why, you know, the New York Times is just full of BS. They still call Jeffrey Epstein as suicide. They still do that with a straight face. They do this. The district that once friendly, but they once had a falling out. But Democrats on the House Oversight Committee said the emails, which they selected from thousands of pages of documents that were released by their panel on Wednesday, raised new questions about the relationship between the two men. In one of the messages, Mr. Epstein flatly asserted that Mr. Trump knew about the girls, many of whom were later found by investigators to have been underage. In another, Mr. Epstein pondered how to address questions from the news media about the relationship as Mr. Trump was becoming a national political figure. And so here, by the way, here's the emails. Now, you can't see them. I'll show you what they say. So this is from Jeffrey Epstein, this one down here. It says, I want you to realize that that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. And then here's the victim's name. And it says, this victim, this Epstein victim, spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Police chief, etc. I'm 75% there. And then down here, it says, Epstein victim was at Mar-a-Lago. Trump said he asked me to resign. Never remember ever. Of course, he knew about the girls. And he asked Ghislaine to stop. So that's what people are talking about. And there's a little bit more. So down here, here it is. It says I hear CNN is planning to ask Trump. This is from December 15, 2015. Is planning to ask Trump tonight about his relationship with you, either on air or a scrum afterwards. So that's that. So Michael Wolff, the writer, says, I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you. Or if it really looks like he could win, meaning become president, you could save him, generating a debt. Of course, it is possible that when asked, he'll say Jeffrey is a great guy and has gotten a raw deal and is a victim of political correctness, which is to be outlawed in a Trump regime. So there they are admitting that he knew about the relationship, and they're trying to figure out how he should handle it, and that, hey, you might actually have something to hold over Trump's head on this. That's what they're saying. That's what's being said there. Committee Republicans swiftly identified the unnamed victim mentioned in two of the emails as Virginia Giuffre. She's the one who killed herself in April and has said that she had not witnessed Mr. Trump participating in the SCX abuse of minors at Mr. Epstein's home. They later released unredacted versions of the emails that clearly identify Miss Giuffre. So those people that were blacked out, the Epstein victim, they're talking about Virginia Giuffre. In a statement, Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, cited Ms. Giuffre's past remarks about Mr. Trump, denouncing selectively released emails meant to smear the president. Here she is. Ready?
Some transparency. Why not just go ahead, release the full files on Epstein, get this all over with.
This administration has done more with respect to transparency when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein than any administration ever. In fact, this administration, the Department of Justice, has turned over tens of thousands of documents to the American people. We are cooperating and showing support for the House Oversight Committee. That's part of the reason you are seeing these documents that were released today, because of the House Oversight Committee's and Republicans' efforts to get these out to the public. This administration.
So that's their story, and they're sticking with it. You keep using that word transparent. I don't think you know what it means. I do not think you know what it means. There it is. The messages are certain to inflame the debate on Capitol Hill over the Trump administration's handling of the Epstein files and top officials' decision to backtrack on a promise to fully release all of its investigative materials in the case. They promise, they're not doing it. That issue, which has split Republicans and alienated some of Mr. Trump's right-wing supporters, I would say more than some. I would say a lot of them. Candace Owens, for sure, the #1 show in the world, had faded in the background and the government shutdown dragged on. But the House is set to return on Wednesday to clear legislation to end the shutdown, and attention is likely to shift back to Epstein's matter. So they haven't opened up the government or the House for a vote, and Thomas Massie says he has enough votes to compel the administration to release all the Epstein files. So that's the big news here. The emails were turned over to the committee in response to a set of subpoenas Democrats effectively forced Republicans to issue for files related to Mr. Epstein. So far, the Justice Department has provided the panel with little that was not already public. Democrats and a few Republicans have been pressing for a far broader set of disclosures from the administration's Epstein investigation, a move that Mr. Trump and GOP leaders in Congress vehemently oppose. The 3 separate email exchanges released on Wednesday were all from after Mr. Epstein's 2008 plea deal in Florida on state charges of soliciting prostitution, in which federal prosecutors agreed not to pursue charges. They came years after Mr. Trump and Mr. Epstein had a reported falling out in the early 2000s. One was addressed to Mr. Epstein's longtime confidant, Ghislaine Maxwell, while the 2 others with the author, Michael Wolff. The emails were provided to the Oversight Committee along with a larger tranche of documents from Mr. Epstein's estate that the panel requested as part of the investigation into Mr. Epstein and his longtime confidant, Ghislaine Maxwell, who's serving a 20-year sentence on SCX trafficking. Republicans on the Oversight Committee accused Democrats of politicizing the investigation. Democrats continue to carelessly cherry-pick documents to generate clickbait that is not grounded in the facts, a committee spokesperson said. The Epstein estate has produced over 20,000 pages of documents on Thursday, yet Democrats are once again intentionally withholding records that name Democrat officials. They sought to play down Mr. Epstein's assertion that Mr. Trump had spent extensive time with one of the victims by publicly naming Ms. Giuffre, whose name was redacted in the emails. Ms. Giuffre had said that Ms. Maxwell recruited her into Mr. Epstein's SCX ring while she was working at Mar-a-Lago, Mr. Trump's private club and residence in Palm Beach, as a teenager. In 2016 deposition for a civil case, Ms. Giuffre was asked if she believed Mr. Trump had witnessed the SCX abuse of minors at Mr. Epstein's house. I don't think Donald Trump participated in anything, she said. I never saw or witnessed Donald Trump participate in those acts, but was he in the house of Jeffrey Epstein? I've heard he has been, but I haven't seen him myself, so I don't know. Mr. Trump has called Mr. Epstein a creep and has insisted he never engaged in any wrongdoing with him or Ms. Maxwell. He has condemned the continued questions about his handling of the case as a hoax perpetrated by Democrats. Nobody believes that. The Democrats' release of the emails came hours before Speaker Mike Johnson was scheduled to swear in Representative-elect Adelita Gravalia, Democrat of Arizona, whom he has avoided seating for nearly 2 months since she won her election. And the reason why is because she's the final vote they need to compel the administration to release all the documents. She is expected to provide the final signature necessary on a petition to force a House vote on a measure demanding that the Trump administration release all of its investigative material pertaining to Mr. Epstein. The White House has strongly opposed the measures. So, I don't think I need to. So here's Trump. The Democrats are trying to bring up Jeffrey Epstein hoax again because they'll do anything at all to deflect on how badly they've done on the shutdown and so many other subjects. They've done great on the shutdown. In fact, they just swept the elections last Tuesday. So the Republicans got an ass kicking in those elections, and they're going to get another one come in the midterms for sure because Trump's cutting MAGA's health care. So it's the more wars. It's the cutting of healthcare, and it's the betrayal over the Epstein, calling his own base weak and idiots for wanting them to release it. Only very bad or stupid Republicans would fall into that trap. The Democrats cost our country $1.5 trillion with their recent antics of viciously closing our country, while at the same time putting many at risk, and they should pay a fair price. There should be no deflections to Epstein or anything. So he doesn't want anybody talking about Epstein. He wants you to talk about everything else except Epstein. And any Republicans involved should be focused only on opening up our country and fixing the massive damage caused by the Democrats. Kyle Griffin says the White House confirms Trump officials tried to convince Lauren Boebert. She's also on board with signing that petition by Thomas Massie to force the administration to release all the Epstein files. So they admitted that they were trying to convince Lauren Boebert to drop her support for the Epstein file discharge petition. Once Adelita Gravalia is sworn in this afternoon, majority support will be reached, and that discharge petition so that petition's going to go forward, it looks like. And I don't know if they were able to convince Lauren Boebert, but maybe they were. But as it stands right now, Thomas Massie looks like he's going to get his way, and they're going to compel and force the administration to release those documents. I have a feeling they're going to find a way not to release them. Just like the FBI was compelled by a court twice to release the Seth Rich computer documents, what they found, and they said no. I have a feeling that Donald Trump is going to say no to this also. So we'll see. But that's the big story today. Emails from Jeffrey Epstein saying that Donald Trump was aware of the girls. There you go. Okay. We're going to bring out our next guest because our next guest is being sued by Kash Patel's girlfriend for $5 million for slander. Well, guess what? It looks like he's going to be guilty of the same thing. We're going to bring out our guest right now. Okay, let's take a break.